Juice. Space juice.
Oh good, you're still here. I do apologise, I've just been at the Ray Gun Rascals World in Goosebump Galaxy, and when I use their intergalactic teleportation device, I sometimes end up speaking a little bit too fast. Now my name is Brad and I'd like to welcome you to the tiny world of massive magic. Oh! Please, no more. Oh, come on, just, I love you. Thank you. Oh. Please, no more. Oh, come on, who doesn't like a round of applause? Now, today we are going to look at creativity, and especially creative writing, and how that can help you become more of a creative person, not just in writing, but just being creative generally. I mean, look around us, guys. Everywhere we look, there is creativity. To the house that we're in, to the clothes that we're wearing, to the device you're watching this on now, to your favourite toys and games, to the shoes on your feet, all being created. And it's all being created by imagination. Like right now, I could imagine that I'm in a snowstorm. Oh, it's cold. I wish I hadn't got that snowstorm. I better get some gloves on, else I'm going to freeze. Oh, I've got a hat as well. Oh, that's better. Oh, fantastic. Oh, brilliant. I wish I was somewhere warmer. Oh, no, not a volcano. Oh, geez, now I'm really getting hot. Oh, my goodness, not more. Oh, please, volcano. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, go away. Oh, that's better. Maybe I should imagine that we're somewhere a little bit more fun. Yes, like diving through the insect world, following a bee, or maybe shooting up into space, leaving Earth behind and passing the moon. Yes, that's more like it. So how do we get more creative? Well, there are many different ways we can get more creative when writing, and I'm going to help you very, very soon. But first, I think I need you to do something for me. I need you to get a pen and a piece of paper or writing pad, just so you can take notes. And whilst you do that, I think I'm going to make a paper aeroplane because I'm feeling creative. Wow! Guys, I'm sure you'll agree, that's probably the greatest airplane ever created by man or woman. In fact, it's probably still flying now. Well, it's not actually, it's on the floor because it just hit the camera. But if the camera wasn't there, it would still be flying now. So what is the first tip? The first piece of advice I'm going to give you when writing? Well, it's very simple. We are allowed to make mistakes. Yes, we are. Because I am dyslexic. And for those who do not know what dyslexic is, dyslexia means I find English very, very hard. So when I'm writing a story, I'm making mistakes all of the time. I sometimes put letters the wrong way round or capital letters in the middle of a word. But that hasn't stopped me from creating 14 books and counting. So if you are dyslexic, or if you know somebody who's dyslexic, it makes no difference. Mistakes happen, and as I said, as an author, I always make mistakes. That's what rubbers on the end of pencils are for, right? So what is the first little game or tip we can take away from us now when trying to write a story? Well, it's very, very simple, and it's one of my favourites actually. This is where you need your pen and this is where you need your pad, because we are going to write a story together. But all the stories, I'm sure, are going to be very, very different. And it'd be interesting to read your stories or your ideas for a story. So maybe you could leave your comment below on what story you created. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and I want you to write down the answer to all the 3 questions, and from those questions and from your answers we are going to get a great base for a story. So the first question, what is your favourite animal? Or creature? You know, it could be a dinosaur, it could be a dog. I'm sure some of you are putting down a dog. It could be a bird. Mine's a bird, actually mine's a duck. So I'm going to write down duck. This is my favourite creature at the moment. And now we are going to ask, or I'm going to ask, should I say you, a favourite colour. Now my favourite colour today, I think is fluorescent green. That's a green that shows up in the dark. So let's write fluorescent down. I'm going to make a mistake writing this down. Fluorescent green. Have you finished? So you've got your favourite creature and have you got your favourite colour? Okay, now we are going to think of a favourite place to be. It could be the beach, it could be school, it could be the playground with your friends, but my favourite place is space. So I'm going to write down space. So, have you put it down? Have you got all of your information down? Your favourite creature, your favourite colour, and your favourite place to be. Okay, now how about your favourite weather? It could be sunny, it could be windy, or it could be snowing. Now, today my favourite weather is snow, because we've already been in a snow blizzard a short while ago. So I'm going to put down snow. Have you finished yet? So what have I got here to make a story from? Well, I've got a duck, I've got fluorescent green, I've got space and snow. So straight away, I've got a duck that lives in space, who's fluorescent green in colour, and it's snowing. Now, straight away, we've got a very simple story. Now, it doesn't have much of a beginning, a middle or an end, but that's what we can create. And I bet some of you have put down a dog and maybe blue, or maybe the beach. Maybe you're a blue dog on the beach and you've got to try and create a story from that. Maybe the dog steals some sausages from, I don't know, a little boy who was eating some sausages, and the dog come along and took the sausages and ran away, and they're all chasing him down the beach, and then everybody joins in and the whole beach is chasing this dog who's laughing as he runs away eating the little boy's sausages. So that is a nice and easy little game to play with your friends as well, isn't it? Because you can go and ask your friends, say, hey, or your dad or your mum, give me your favourite creature, give me your favourite colour, give me your favourite place. And then you can write a story from their favourite creatures and places and colours. So that's very easy to do, and I'm sure you can have some fun doing that. Another thing we can do is something called free writing. Now, free writing is very similar to what we had just done then. And free writing is where you have to time yourself, or get maybe one of your parents to time you for 2 minutes to write the first thing that comes into your mind. Now, it doesn't have to be a story as such, it can just be words. Remember, every story that you have ever read or had read to you, and every film and cartoon you have seen has started with one word. And it doesn't make a difference. Whatever word you put down, you can make a story. I could write down the word crazy, because I like the word crazy. It's good to be crazy. Sometimes I'm crazy. Like, sometimes I go crazy and just start dancing. Now, I know what you're thinking. Brad, please teach us how to dance like you. I haven't got time. We're trying to create stories, imagination, inspiration from information. So how are we going to do this 2-minute free writing? Well, it's very, very simple. You are going to get a pen and you are going to get some paper, and you are going to get somebody to time you for 2 minutes, and you are going to write down the first thing that comes into your mind. And it could be something like, better put my glasses on. Here I am writing a story about a phone who has lost all its numbers. So has to ask all the other phones for their numbers. So there we are. That's that was less than 2 minutes, wasn't it? So this is a story about a phone that's lost all of its numbers and has to go around finding all the other phones to find out its numbers. Could you imagine the adventures that phone will have? Maybe that phone is sitting at a desk, or maybe that phone grows little legs and goes round to his next door neighbour and says, "Can I have your phone number?" to his phone, and then that phone says, "I'll go with you," and the next thing you know, there are hundreds of phones all travelling together to try and find the numbers for the phone. So can you see how much fun you can have when creative writing, when just spending 2 minutes putting something down? And could you imagine if you'd done that every day for a whole year? You'd have 365 stories. You could bring out your own book and then you can give it to everybody for Christmas. That would be marvellous. Now, what else can we do? I've got another idea. A story bag. Have you ever heard of a story bag? What is a story bag? Well, it's a bag full of a potential story. So that's my story bag. Now in this story bag, I asked I was going to say little boy, but he's not little anymore, he's 19. I said, "Fred, I need you to go and get me loads of different items, put them in a bag, don't tell me what they are, and from those items, I'm going to create a story." It's a story bag. You can ask your mum or your dad or your brother, your sister, or your dog, if your dog can get items and put them in a bag. I'm sure there's a story in that. But let's see what's in here, shall we? Let's see what my son's put in here for me. Sorry about the noise. Oh, we have a hovercraft. That's quite interesting. We have some very old boot polish. Not so interesting. Oh, a pencil. That is interesting because with a pencil, we can create some of the best stories in the entire world. A cigar. Well, I don't think you're going to want a cigar. At least I hope you don't. Some string. This is a very strange story bag. I bet Fred's laughing at me. Oh, a harmonica. I can't play the harmonica. But if I could, I'd probably call it Monica. Monica the harmonica. See, we can make a story about Monica the harmonica. And what's the last thing he's put in here? Oh, a cassette tape. I don't know if you've ever seen a cassette tape before. I bet your parents have. So these are all of the different items we have. A cassette tape, a harmonica, a hovercraft, that's pretty cool, cigar, and some string. And somehow we have to make a story from those items. That's what a story bag is. Now, what kind of a story could I make out of these? Well, I do not know. This is a tricky one, isn't it? Okay, well maybe the hovercraft was zooming across the sea, and when it zoomed across the sea, it made a sound like a harmonica. And all of the creatures in the sea, maybe the whales and the dolphins, they heard this noise and thought, "That's beautiful. Let's join in." So they started to join in and started making the noises that the whales and dolphins do. And then all of a sudden, it's like a musical. It's exploding from the sea. And there just so happened to be a gentleman on there smoking a cigar who decided to record it on a tape. And the next thing you know, it's a #1 hit and we're all dancing to it for Christmas. What do you think? Can you do a better story? If you can, why don't you leave a comment below on what you think you could do with a hovercraft and a tape and a harmonica and maybe a piece of string. It'd be really interesting to read what you come up with. So creativity is such a marvellous, marvellous thing to have, and it's a marvellous thing to work on. Now, the more you learn, the more creative you can be. So if you're reading books, you are getting information that you can use for inspiration, to use your imagination, to come up with a creation. And that's exactly what I done when I wrote my book, The Land of Lots of Legs, Willy the Worm and the Runaway Pooh. See, I just made a mistake then, but who cares? I'd been helping my mum plant a tree, and I'd gathered up some soil in my hands, and in my hands, obviously I had a pile of earth. And in that earth was a worm, and skying around on top was a little ant. And in the background was a spider's web. So I thought, I have all the information, and boom, I got some inspiration to use my imagination to then come up with this creation. And that's what you guys can do every day, because you guys are the most creative people, and some of you are going to create stories that are in bookstores. You might create some clothes that you'll see people wearing one day. Or you might be able to create some form of clean energy to save the planet. It's all in here. So the more creative you can be, the more creations you can create. So the next thing we're going to look at, and this is in the next episode, is going to be character creation. So how do we create characters? Well, we create characters through inspiration and imagination. Like, for instance, I've not got it, it's up there. Let's get him down. Like Sticky McStick. So now I have to go back to Goosebump Galaxy to see the Ray Gun Rascals. And whilst I'm gone, I hope you can take some of the tips that we've learnt today to create a couple of little short stories. And remember, do not worry about mistakes, and do not worry about getting anything perfect. That's what rubbers on the end of the pencils are for, to correct mistakes. So till next time, kids of planet Earth, I bid you farewell.